We get better as basketball officials by doing a number of things. Getting into the case book, the rules book, but one of the most valuable things we can do as basketball officials is look at plays. Stick around. Greetings and welcome back to 5 Play Friday, the show where we look at plays, take from them what we can, the positives, the negatives, the positioning of the crew, whether the correct official made the correct call, etc., so that we can all get better. Greetings everyone, my name is Greg Austin with abetterofficial.com. We craft video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating career. If you're new to the channel, be a great time now to hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss out on any of our new content. We live stream every Wednesday and Friday. Don't miss an episode. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our content. All right, today we're looking at plays, but the show, of course, is funded by a fantastic group of channel supporters. Mike Connors, Les O'Connor, Fred Thompson, Jason Hayes, and Gerald Mazzucci. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? You can always head over to abetterofficial.com/coffee. You can buy us a coffee. There'll be a link in the show notes below. Tremendous. All right, today we're going to look at some plays that were submitted by channel supporters. You can always submit plays to 5 Play Friday at abetterofficial.com/submit plays. Here's a link on the screen where you can do that. We can look at your plays for 5 Play Friday, etc. All right, let's take a look at our very first play, a screening, some off-ball action on this play. Let's take a look. All right, so we have off-ball action on this play. Right, it's a little unclear who is our center's not in the official, not in the on the play here. I think our trail might not realize their trail on this play, but gets the off-ball action, right? And that's the important thing, right? So we have a player who approaches action and then extends to shed themselves of a defender and bounce out for a shot. If we are officiating players in our primary on plays like this, these plays are easy. They're easy if we're looking at the right thing at the right time, etc. Unclear on this play whether the center, whether a rotation had just occurred, our trail is working low, which there's nothing wrong with that, is aware of off-ball action, right? Player extends, sheds the defender, and then like their teammates help it's like a team effort to clear that player out, opening the player for a wide open shot, right? These are great plays to get. Good job by this crew. If we look at the positioning of the crew, obviously our center is this head over here is the coach, not the center official. We would expect the center official to be free throw line extended here and have an open look on this play here in their primary. The lead, very passive, very narrow, right? In that position as lead, with that closed down position is not a good position to officiate from when you've got what we end up with here is like 6 players in the lead's primary. This is good position by the lead right here, right? Would have been better in a wider position to officiate that action that occurred there. But a good get on the play to get us started, off-ball action, right? If we're watching these plays, they're easy. If we're not watching these plays, we miss them. right? So the key thing is to be looking at the right thing at the right time. Okay, an off-ball action play to get us started. Let's take a look at our next play scenario. All right. I mean, we may have shown this play before. So we have a throw-in situation. We have a 5-second count by the official. The team that's a violation is ruled. A 5-second violation is ruled. Player in frustration bounces the ball. The exciting part of the play is the ball ends up bouncing and going in the basket. Player technical is assessed. If we look at, of course, at the score of the ball game, our visitors in this game are down extremely big, 31-9 or something. It's early in the second period. Is that the second period? They're down 31 to no, third period. We're down 31-9. Let's take a look here. Okay, right? White team still pressing, big lead, etc. Frustration brewing with the visitors. So it's just something we're aware of. In the end, I think our count is a little bit fast, right? Truncated, anticipating the violation. Properly assessing a technical foul for the obvious display of frustration. Right? We may want to just habitually communicate with our partner. Right? This is an obvious technical foul. It's not subtle. It's not atypical. It's not layered. We don't have to sort a lot of things. It's going to be a player technical. The other team's going to shoot 2 free throws. We'll go to a division line throw-in opposite the table. Very straightforward. Official, demeanor, fantastic. It's just business. Just business. That's a player technical, and we're going to move forward, right? It's not, there's no indication that, oh, we're taking this personally or implying something. It's just business, right? And that's a great demeanor to have. We don't want, so my counsel, of course, in situations like this, where we have the big lead, is first of all, we're looking for frustration from the other team. We want to be aware. They are getting trounced and may be frustrated by their lack of success. They've scored 9 points at this point of the game, right? That can lead to frustration. So we want to be proactive about addressing anything that starts to percolate in the game, right? In addition, though, we don't want to miss anything by the opponent who's up big, and we don't want to maybe find marginal infractions on the team that's down, right? Just a game management technique. If we properly completed the count here rather than anticipating the violation, we also have to recognize that in these situations, when we have counting situations, right, 5-second counts, 10-second counts, sometimes as officials, as the end is near, we react differently. Rather than being a metronome, we become a little excited, like, oh my gosh, we're about to have a violation, and maybe accelerate or end early, etc. So we just want to identify that when we watch our game video. Let's take a look at our next play scenario. All right, play submitted by show supporter Jason Hayes. Much appreciated, Jason. Jason's center on this play, right? A few aspects of this play. First of all, our ball handler here, a nice legal negative step, slight movement of that left foot, no big deal. We have a defender, right? Do they go A to B on this play? We need to make that judgment. Do they block the shot? Yes, they do. And our offensive player goes to the floor. Was this legal? And then subsequently, after the voracious blocked shot, we have a bit of a stare down and maybe words are spoken by the player who blocked the shot, right? These are all the aspects of this play. Positioning of the crew, right? Let's just recognize we are high school basketball officials. This is what we get, right? We get a very narrow end line situation, and we have cheerleaders as well. Cheerleaders are part of the high school experience. We have to work our way around them at times. They seem to be properly positioned, obviously not in the lane area, but this puts a lot of pressure on officials to get good position on plays. Our lead official seems to have a great look at the play, is in a good position to adjudicate the play. Our center official has the backside action, right? We have an obvious blocked shot, okay? First of all, it's obvious that the shot was blocked. I mean, he almost cupped it, right? This is the play that the grandma in the 14th row, who doesn't see too well, says, oh, that boy got his shot blocked, right? It's obvious. That's obvious. Do we need this action, right? If we have a habitual action of doing this, that's get us into trouble, something that we have to evaluate on the play. But the cadence of using that in this instance is very good by the lead. It's just like I saw the whole play, he blocked his shot. It's a way to communicate an unapproved signal in National Federation of High School. 55, there is a little bit of A to B movement, right? And there is torso contact. This is where we're going to make the big bucks, making judgments about this play. And our center official can help with that. But we do have the action by 55 after the shot. Again, this is something that we need to be aware of, first of all, right? We're going to make judgments about the temperature of the game, etc. Have we had warnings or talking to players about this behavior so far in this game or not? These are factors. We may want to address it at the next dead ball. Hey, 55, great block, but here's what I need you to do, all right? And we're talking to your teammates only. You don't act like you've been here before, right? We can have that conversation, talk the player through, right? They are a big player. It wouldn't be unusual to see additional blocks in this game. So these are the variables that we're looking at on the play. We've got no call for the body contact, obvious block shot, habit by the official of communicating by giving a signal like this, pros and cons of that, the stare down, right? Very brief, etc. These are the things that we have to evaluate on this play. Right. And when we analyze our game video, we want to think through all of these variables. Are we happy with our positioning on the crew, etc., on the floor? Now, obviously, our lead was in a really tough position because what would we want to do on this play is step back, gain more perspective, etc. There's no opportunity to do this here. I believe, in speaking to Jason about this play, that's what they did on this play. You know, sometimes we have things occur on the court and we say that rises to the level of something that we need to penalize. Or maybe that rises to the level that we need to address. Okay? We obviously have that. We obviously have stages at every point of the way. We have coach behavior. Coach, right? I need you back in your box, right? The subtle. Coach warning, out of the box, in the book, We've gone to the next level. Or technical foul. coach, out of the box, etc. Right? We have that ladder available to us always, and in all attributes, all aspects of the game, right? So in this instance, maybe we talk to that player. This could be very early in the game. We talk to the player and say, we're not having that tonight, right? Great block, right? Focus on your teammates, get going the other direction. Don't be looking or talking or giving any gestures to your opponent, all right? It'll hurt you, right? Be clear and direct. Tell them what you need. What are they going to do, right? They are going to respond correctly, and if they don't, right, then we know what happens next. Hey, can I ask you a quick favor? If you're finding this video content valuable, take just a second. Hit the like button below. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps to get the video in front of more basketball officials so that we can all get better together. Thank you. Thank you, Jason, for submitting that play. Now we have another play from Jason in our next play scenario. All right, block charge play. All right, fantastic. All right, so now we have the exact same end of the court, cheerleader scenario. Positioning of the official, the calling official here is critical to our judgment about call correct or not, right? Where would we want to be to officiate this play? We'd want to be on the stage. We'd want to be like 8 feet off the end line, right about where the middle cheerleader is, right? That's not an option in this scenario. So when we are in transition here, we have to make some decisions about how we're going to adjudicate the play or how we're going to get position on the play, right? So that's the first thing. We are in transition here, and the ball goes ahead here, right? What are our options? Am I going to race to the end line, get position, in that split second before this player goes to the basket, right? We have to make that judgment and live with the judgment and make the call accordingly. I think in retrospect, freezing here and trying that button hook angle would have given us our best look. Now we know something about the terrain that we're dealing with. We know that we have no room on the end line. So maybe we're thinking, we're sort of programming in advance. I'm not going to be able to, as effectively as I usually am, get to the end line, get position on plays like this. Maybe I need to turn my dial a little bit and be more willing to button hook on plays and also communicate to my crew. Hey, if I get on a fast break situation, center official has got to be there on these plays because our ability to get to the end line, get the position we would desire is going to be impacted by our tight environment here. But in the end, we end up with a straight line look. I mean, that's just the way it is. And put a whistle on the play, given the information that we have, right? I think a case could be made. It's close. This play is close. The question is, of course, here is, does White get his right foot down before Blue goes airborne? No. I don't think so. Right? But it's super close. It's a 50-50. This is the definition of a 50-50 play. Unfortunately, our look on the play is not 100%, right? It's hard enough to make 50-50 calls when we have a 100% look. When we have, in this instance, a closed look, maybe a 20% look, we're not at our best. So the factors that would come into mind is, well, have we had similar plays like this, 50-50 plays at the other end, this end, etc.? How have we called these plays, etc.? Put a whistle on the play. No shot. Offense. Okay? Dynamic, right? Is there any uncertainty about whether the official had a charge on this play? No. This is fantastic, right? Right or wrong, the game appreciates decisiveness, okay? Strength, 100%, right? We do the turn away, right, where we turn away from the players to indicate that's something that we could improve, but spot of the foul, doesn't run away. Perfect, right? Did the right player come in to pick up the teammate, etc.? Is there any tension? Is there any issue, right? Did Blue on the way down when he landed do anything that the other player reacted to, etc.? We did not have a good angle on the play, but and so we may want to be even more decisive, right? We get to the table, like let's say it was a blocking foul. We get to the table, we report, we're talking to the coach, the offended coach, and it's like, Coach, we could fess up at that moment and say, Coach, I did not have the best angle. I did the best I could on that play. What did you have, right? He said, oh, he beat him, yeah. Give him a chance, right? We can't defend our position on the play. We can defend our call. Based on what I saw, what I have, etc., I had this. And we have to make decisions, right? Players make decisions, have split-second decisions on the court. They decided I was going to go to the basket. Oops, block charge play, the defender was there, etc. We have to make split-second decisions. What I'd say, though, is that our environment maybe could help us, right? In our pregame, we know the environment here is tight. And we know potentially there's going to be cheerleaders. It's going to be tough to get a look, right? So we may pregame how we're going to handle fast break situations and have an agreement among the crew. Hey, I might pull up short as new lead to get a look, right? Or I may be out of position. Let's make sure our center is really strong on fast break situations because inherently the lead is going to potentially be in weaker positions. Great block charge play, Jason. Thank you. And one more play from Jason. All right, pass and crash. Something we want to pregame, something that we need to know the fundamentals thereof. So we have a player who drives from the center's primary. Secondary defender, middle of the lane, no whistle on the play, lead follows the ball with their eye. Right? So we need to say, first need to set the ground rules. Wait a minute. Huh. Why am I ending up there? Huh. Interesting. Okay. Right, so we have a slow transition play. So first of all, let's take a look at our center's head position here, right? Center is watching the ball in the backcourt. Center is watching that action. It was, at the beginning of the clip, it was even more evident. Center is not in, right? And the ball comes into their primary, and that's great, right? But the look goes away. They drift. They stay with the play. But the center would be officiating blue 2. That would be their responsibility. Blue 2 on this play. The lead has the defender in the middle of the lane. In a pass crash situation, we want the official who has that defender to officiate that action all the way through and have other officials pick up the pass. Okay? I'm going to take the crash. You guys are responsible for the pass and the subsequent action thereof. Our lead doesn't stay with the play, right? So we have displacement. We could say, is this legal or illegal contact? Was there embellishment? Did the player flop, etc.? The player was obviously attempting to take a charge. To and through, these are the judgments we have to make, but I don't have a feeling that the play was officiated by the lead. I think the lead, followed the ball and didn't officiate the play. Maybe their partners felt it didn't need a whistle, etc. Those are the things we have to make judgments about. Does the center official need to provide that signal without the pointing, without the lead requesting help? No. Again, we want to look at our habits that we provide, that we exhibit on the court. Right, I'm going to go there. Yeah. So a great discussion about pass and crash can come about on this play. We can use this kind of play when we're discussing in our pregame how we're going to handle pass and crash, who we want to officiate what, etc. But when we watch our game video to see the habits that we exhibited on the play. Jason fesses up that the eyes followed the ball, and we're human beings, right? So we have this is a disciplined situation, right? We are human beings as officials. We love to watch the ball, right? But we need to understand our responsibilities on play and have discipline. And part of our ability to have discipline is if we're having confidence in our crew. We've addressed this situation. I know I can stay with this play as lead because I know my center official is going to be there to officiate the pass and the resulting play. And we've pre-gamed this, and so we know, or we just know the fundamentals. But we have to have that trust. But we also have to be, as Mark Davis said in that interview I just saw, trustworthy, right? That center needs to be trustworthy, so that the lead can trust that the crew dynamics will work properly on that play. And sometimes we see in our game video, we're not as trusting of our partners in this game as we were in this game. And part of it may be because the trustworthiness of the crew is on shaky ground for some reason that's occurred in the game, etc. But these are all the valuable things that come from watching our game video, seeing our discipline and trying to recognize, why did I not display that discipline? I always stay with the ball handler in that play. Why didn't I on this play? Why was I distracted, etc.? Was there a trust issue? Was I still thinking about a previous call? We rerun the tape. We look, we had a block charge play at the other end and they caught a lot of grief, etc. That's how we get better as basketball officials, recognizing situations like that. The bottom line is followed the pass and not the crash, right? So we want to recognize that in our game. Another great play clip from Jason. If you want to submit clips for 5 Play Friday, hit the link below. You can submit clips at abetterofficial.com/submit clips. And we can see your play on 5 Play Friday. All right, let's take a look at our next video. All right, big man working. Let me see where I am. All right. Ball goes in. Player goes to the floor, resulting foul, right? As we've spoken about many times on 5 Play Friday, one of the biggest challenges we face is officiating the big player against the small player, right? The slightest action by the big player can lead to big reaction by small players. But if we judge based on a understanding of verticality, it can help us in this situation. So if we look at the play, let's look at our positioning of our crew. Let's think about this. We have a team with an extremely large player, and it appears as though they like to get this ball to this extremely large player. So as lead, that's going to affect our positioning as lead, right? The team is telling us we need to be strong side, have an open look on that big player when he comes to post up, right? A better look on this play, I think, could be achieved with a wider position. Simply. If we were outside the E here on this video, a little what? Come on, ref. We would have a better angle on the play. So lead is here with 3 defenders to officiate. Right? That's not an enviable position. A little bit close to the play. If we could take a step back, like I say, towards the E, we'd have a better perspective on multiple players. Wait a minute, it's 55. It's our guy from the previous play. All right, no taunting on this play. Do we see any A to B movement on the play? I guess that would be our first judgment here. Right? So we have that touch by the post player, right? Did they hold that player or did they just sort of detect where they were? I would say it was a hot stove touch, just to seeing where the player is, not shoving or holding that player on the initial move. Yeah, other players' attempts to take a charge. Looks like there is some A to B movement. That's our judgment on this play. So Jason says this game was in the morning, 2-hour drive, 2 partners never worked with, comfort zone thing I was out of. Right? Center later told him he thought it was a player control foul. These are things we have to recognize and figure out strategies for trying to work our way through. Right? So we recognize, is this the optimum situation to make the 2-hour drive for this game? I'm working with 2 partners I've never worked with before. Maybe we had a great pregame. Maybe we didn't have a great pregame. These are factors, right? We have to have strategies as officials when we hit the court of how we're going to get past that, how we're going to establish crew chemistry, right, with officials we've never worked with. We may do more of this or more of that, a lot more communication early, a lot more voice in the game, a lot more eye contact with partners, etc. A lot more timeout, first timeout, let's get together, etc. We may have, we want to have that in our tool bag, because we face this as high school officials, right? We face this. We show up to the gym, never worked with these partners before, right? Not something they necessarily face at other levels where there's more familiarity with a smaller group of officials. So we just have to recognize that, have some strategies. We employ the strategies. The strategies work. The strategies don't work. That trustworthy combination, being trustworthy, as you know, developing that trust as a crew early on, maybe more of a focus on working the system, etc. All of these become factors when we're faced with that situation, and we just have to recognize that it is what it is, right? I'm a little disoriented in this game, right? All right, Jason, thanks for the plays. Let's take a look at our next play scenario. Right, we just finished jump ball week, ran across this clip from a game in Minnesota. A couple of variables on this play. In Minnesota, 18-minute halves, not quarters, and they have the RA for varsity games in Minnesota, restricted area. So Minnesota, very unique. But what we learned from our jump ball scenario is these non-jumpers all must comply with rules and restrictions on their movement, on their ability to step in. They are within 3 feet. All of these non-jumpers, possible exception of pink shoes over there to the left, are within 3 feet and subject to those restrictions. Everybody's legal, right? But just not the scenario we usually see for jump balls at the high school level. Usually these players are all spread out. We may see this kind of configuration for overtime, but you know, it's a situation when the players are in proximity like this as the non-administering officials. We need to be aware of possible violations by these non-jumpers. If players are not within 3 feet, they can do just about anything except move on to the center restraining circle. Does our pink shoes, right, or does 15 over here on the left, these are all very minor movements, no advantage gained. Everybody's just playing basketball, right? They're just playing basketball. But we do note that the clock does not start. The clock is on an inset. Is the clock visible here? Yeah. The clock is on an inset, meaning I think they have a camera that's actually pointing to the clock, and the clock does not start until the ball is collected in the backcourt. It does not start at that moment, right? And so we have a question about whether the tableside official properly chopped the clock or whether the timer was properly instructed prior to the game with our pregame discussion with the timer. Or it could be a delay, but I don't think so. It's in this instance. So just a jump ball reminder play, one that has non-jumpers in close proximity. If you have any questions about jump balls, our entire playlist where we covered the topic extensively, there will be a link above and in the show notes below. A generic play here, but one that, as non-administering officials, we need to be aware of. Thanks for joining us today on 5 Play Friday. If you're new to the channel, consider like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss out on any of our new content. Shout out to our fantastic show supporters today: Mike Connors, Les O'Connor, Fred Thompson, Jason Hayes, and Gerald Mazzucci. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show, you can always head over to abetterofficial.com/coffee. There'll be a link above and in the show notes below. Fantastic. We have additional video content for you available here. Make your choice. Choose wisely. We'll see you in the very next video. Take care.